All right, guys, we are back here on Shattered Darkness. I am your host, Mitch Benner, and with me as always, well, not as always, but Cash Case. And today we have Taylor Doucette back for his part 2, and we'll get into that here in a second. But I just wanted to plug a couple things. Obviously, the Love Shack Mocktail Bar on 120 East 4th Street. That's where we are recording. And if you guys have not been down here, it's an amazing space. You got events and coffees and workspace, and I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff going on down here. So come check it out. It's a great space. 120 East 4th Street, the Love Shack Mocktail Bar. I also want to take a quick minute to plug Beyond the Buzz. This is our community networking group that we've started. We meet every other Friday at the Love Shack from 9:30 to 11. So this is more just like-minded people. A lot of them are small business owners in the community that are just connecting on life, sobriety, and business opportunities. So if you guys are interested, come check us out every other Friday at the Love Shack Mocktail Bar. I am going to let Taylor, we're going to jump back into Taylor's episode, but I'm going to let Taylor kind of recap what we talked about in episode 1 and then his intentions for where we're going in episode 2.
Yeah, right on. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, bro. Thanks for coming back.
What I really enjoy about this before we get kicked in is just like the conversation that we have before we start the actual podcast, which you guys do a really good job of like warming up your audience, which is cool. Yeah, maybe it's just natural.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, super good. So talking about just kind of recapping what I remember as far as last week goes, we spoke about my younger age, how I was as a kid, kind of leading up to, I would say, a huge day in my life in which I made one of the worst choices and I went to prison. We spoke about what that kind of looked like, what was going on inside of my head. And honestly, from what I can remember, we kind of talked about just like the really early stages, and we really didn't get to a lot of like the byproducts of when I kind of pulled my head out of my ass.
So, true. That's I remember you talking a lot about you just in that knucklehead mentality.
Yeah.
You know, and trying to and choosing that path. And so really, we didn't get into much of that. You know, the other side of the coin.
Which is the exciting part. Yeah. That's the fruit that we'll try to share, right? There is hope.
Yeah.
For sure, there's hope.
Yeah. So last week was a little bit more, we were talking about like life stuff as well, but like the narrative of the early stages. And then this is kind of just, I'd like to get into just some of the things that, in my opinion, are still going on today that really helped me out.
Yeah, let's dive in, bro.
Sweet. One place I really, like a day that really rings true in my head was I was at Fremont Correctional Facility. This is probably about I was there from 2015 to 2018 or 2019.
Where?
So Fremont was really where, in my opinion, I kind of started to mature. And I think it has a lot to do with the age I was at. So when I got arrested, I was 19 years old. When I went to Sterling and landed in prison for the first time, I was 20 years old. Sterling was pretty crazy. I've kind of mentioned that in the last episode. And then I got moved to Fremont when I was about 23 years old. And that's, I feel like, I don't know if you guys can remember that age. It was probably a little easier for me because when you're in prison, it's really sobering. Yeah. And not just because you are sober, right? Sure. It's really sobering in the sense that you take pretty good account of like chapters or eras of your life.
You don't have a lot of options. You're kind of forced to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you like moving facilities is a really easy distinction between changing the page or changing the chapter.
Sure.
So I remember this chapter pretty easily. And it's when I really started to mature. And man, I remember I was dating a high school sweetheart, and we actually ended up separating. And at that moment in my life, it wasn't the separation or anything like that. It was just like, I just kind of had me. And that's when I feel like started to focus on just being a better version of me and stop doing things for other people. Because at a young age, really, I remember I just did things to get approval.
Yeah, to be the person you think that they want you to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So working on yourself is scary. Like you go into this, but it's exciting.
You know, it is.
It's exciting and scary at the same time.
I was like, why do you think it's scary and exciting?
Yeah. You said it is, though. I want to hear what Cash, you just started like...
We're working on yourself. You said it's scary and exciting. Mm-hmm. And I think it's like not just even working on yourself, but choosing a better path, right? Because typically that path looks like the better version of yourself immediately feels really boring. Mm. You think, that's going to be daunting.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy. Life is really fucking fun right now.
Yeah.
But the reality is the absolute opposite, right? Because when you actually do start making those decisions, like, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to, or, for me, it's a higher power. When I decide to follow my higher power in a greater way, we talked about it last week on last episode with the previous guest. It looks boring. Like, I don't want that guy's life. I don't want that like but my story was created specifically for me. And so when I chase that, it becomes like a roller coaster of excitement. It's like, dude, I can't believe I'm here right now.
Yeah.
Doing this. But you have to show up every single day for that guy.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's my perspective or my view on why it's scary and exciting, right? Because you don't know what that looks like. But when you get there, like, dude, this is way crazier than I thought it was going to be. But this is not about me, man. So I want to.
No, I like that you said that. I kind of shot it to you because I was
That's
like, I wonder
true,
what other
yeah.
people think, right? I feel the same way. Like, finally working on yourself is facing yourself. And, like, the truth at first may be real hard to, like, digest. Because I was like, where am I at? Let's take an account. You were talking about taking an account at the end of your day or your yesterday.
Yeah.
Where am I at? And in my life right now, I was like, man, I've been doing a lot for others and not a lot for myself. And I feel a little empty. And so when I face the music and I'm like, cool, let's start. It's time to start working on myself. I realized just how far I have to go. But that's the scary part, right? But the honesty is like, oh, all right. If you can accept that,
You can start.
that's where the magic is. Yep.
And that's the acceptance, right? And that's what something I'm always like, what are we accepting, right? And it's a new path, man, and it's something that we don't know,
Yeah.
right? And that's the fear. It's so ambiguous.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, though.
Yeah.
Because I always felt this way. And with any hard thing that I do, it's always like, I mean, I say always as an absolute statement, but it really is an absolute statement for me. When I'm facing something that looks very, very hard, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't. And then there's a place I come to, like, well, there's no choice. I have no option.
Yep.
Right? This is one of the things I absolutely have to do. And then I get on the other side of it. And I'm like, that was way easier and way faster than I thought it was going to be.
Yep.
I wish the next time I face one of these things, I can remember how easy and fast that was. Because you look back and you're like, damn, dude, we're making some progress. You know what I mean?
It's almost like the more you accept the truth, the easier it is. But that's the scarier thing at first. Were you
Absolutely.
naturally talented as a kid at anything?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, I mean, like,
Probably like football. You're a pretty big guy. You
no, I
anything
wasn't
like
a sports
that?
guy.
No, sports guy.
But I guess I had like a high mental aptitude
Yeah.
for understanding hard concepts.
So when we spoke about this last week, like when we were naturally good at things at a young age, things just come easy and you expect everything to come.
Dude, my oldest, I'm struggling so hard because anything that doesn't just snap to me, well, I don't like it. I'm like, you don't know that you don't like it because you've not really given it a significant like opportunity to persevere. I have a mentor who used to say, the hardest road that a man walks down, the absolute hardest is the one at the end in which he finds himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you really find out who you're created to be, but it is the most rewarding, right? But it's not easy, dude.
Honesty is hard.
Golly, dude. That
You
was
married?
hard. Yeah, I am.
You're married?
Yep. 16
I'm
years.
married 16 years, right?
Yeah.
When you and your wife are having a conversation and there's the thing that's easier to say versus the thing that's more honest to say, like the more honest one's more difficult.
Let's go to the States, dude.
Dude, literally yesterday was my anniversary, and I'm like, my wife's like, "Hey, does this hat look good on me?" And I'm like, "No." You know,
said
and
that, I
it's
was
like,
Oh,
yeah,
you're like reflexive.
and not only did I say no, I went into why it didn't look good. You know, and so I'm like, and given the status of things that are going on in my wife and I's relationship, like, dude, I just brought out this insane insecurity in her,
Yeah.
unintentionally.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But I bet you like she understands you're coming from a place of love.
She did, and she even approached it, but she's like, "But it made me feel this way." You know.
But the marriage thing is really hard because it, I mean, obviously, right? Marriage is not freaking easy.
Yeah.
But it's always like the person. My side of the honesty is, this is when he said that, he was like, "This is my approach to it." My wife says, "How does this look on me?" My question is, how does it feel on you? Like, do you love it? Do you feel like you look really good?
Put the ball back in there.
Yeah.
Well, 100%, like, son of a bitch. I have been not using
Safe
that my
play.
whole life.
My desire is that you love
Yeah.
the way that you.
Hell yeah.
When I'm working with guys that like on my team or whatever regard, and they hate what the hell they're doing, I'm like, let's not do this. Let's reposition. Like, let's focus on what you absolutely do love.
Yeah.
And if there's not enough here, you absolutely throw that shit out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's try something different, right? So, anyways,
Yeah.
No, so
it's a good-
setting the stage up for like truth is hard.
Right, yeah,
Facing
yeah,
the truth is
absolutely.
hard. With whys, we understand that. And I'm going to gear away from that example, right? But I'm going to go into a different example when I have my friends that need to hear, myself included. I'm not above that by any means.
100%.
What the hell is actually really going on, right? And this is out of love. Out of love. I feel like love's a coin, two sides. There's grace. You show grace to people in love, right?
Right.
That's just kind of naturally comes with it. But then there's truth or honesty. That's the other side of that. Because if I truly love you and you're doing something that is destroying your life, but it's really hard for me to have a conversation with you about that thing because I'm afraid of what? You getting upset at the truth, or that conversation being a little uncomfortable, and like the 30-minute time span in which we may have that conversation versus the next 3, 6 months, year to come after that because I couldn't open my mouth to tell you the truth. That's not love.
Okay. I agree, dude.
So when do you, I'm so sorry.
I completely agree with you.
I have a view of, man, these are great conversation topics. When do you decide that this person or you are the person to say this thing too? Do you understand? Like, what,
yeah.
Do I have
personalities are different? I'd say that's kind of like maybe different on different people, but when it's absolutely necessary, it's probably a little too late.
That's fair.
When it's absolutely necessary, it's probably a little too late. I think I err on the side of truth more often than I should. So I'm a little bit of an abrupt personality.
Sure.
But people realize that and understand that. And that's not me. Like, I really check my intentions anytime I have a conversation because of that trait that I know about myself. All right, why am I saying this? Is it to just be nitpicky? Totally. Or is it to like, bro, you're on like some things that if you don't fix that right now, like we're in trouble way worse in the future, in the near future.
But who?
Yeah.
I mean, so when you are the way that you are, you automatically weed out people that are like, this guy's not for my team. This guy's not on my side of the field, because realistically, if he can't handle this, it's probably not. But not everybody is ready to hear, and there's moments that like, so the question is, who are you willing to be brutally honest with? Is it everybody? Are you choosy?
I am choosy. I'd say like 80-20. There's about 20% of people that are just acquaintances that I probably won't drop that level of honesty with you. But if you're inside of that 80, then it is my job to be honest. And the whole reason I brought this all up in my story is because that's the moment I started being brutally honest with myself.
Yes, exactly. And I apologize. We are going off. But
no, and that's a
really, really good insight.
Yeah.
But keep going.
Dude, I love tangents, so you don't have to.
But these are worth taking.
And
these are worth taking.
That's what we need. Yeah, you need to unpack that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So being honest with yourself. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Being honest with myself just looked like... Dash is so big, he's like, my bad, bro.
I told him before you came in the room, I was like, dude, Cash is on another level this morning. I'm sorry, dude. You're good, homie. Don't worry about it.
So, like, at this time in my life, I think I pulled out of, like, some of the knucklehead mentality, but I still wasn't in, like, you can not do bad guy stuff and still not be the best you.
Fair enough.
You can just live. I like calling this, like, the mediocrity level.
Totally,
bro. Common. I just call it the common. And when I say common, I do mean it semi-negative, but like I also realize that not everybody can break out of that, at least maybe not where they're at right now. But I was in this common, right? The common is just going with the flow, what most people do, what doesn't cause a lot of maybe distraction or friction in your life. I was just working out, doing me.
Simple stuff.
Yeah, simple stuff. I was really only focusing on one dimension of my life. Lacking spirituality, lacking the ability to gain some, mental sharpness or knowledge. And then, my social emotional game wasn't always the best either because I was kind of just selfish.
And you're in this new chapter at this new place.
Yeah, so I'm at this new. This is still like I would say a few years in. So I talked about Fremont being like 2015 to 2019. This is probably around 2017. Okay. So a few years after that, Fremont was chill. It allowed me to pull away from the negative a little bit and focus on me, but still focus on me in a lot of a selfish way.
Sure.
In a selfless way, I feel like driving hard and being the best you for who you run into in the future is pretty honorable. So I'm not just working to be the best me, I'm working to be the best me so that when I do meet my wife, it's not like she's got this dude that she needs to work on as a project. It's like, damn, we're still working on shit together. Yeah. Let's go, right? I see you have the ability to like look inside and see what we need to like do to level up a little bit. And it's not always about leveling up in like business or money or materialistic.
Just wherever you need to level.
Dude, and I think that is more important than all of the other. If you line that up, then all of the other stuff will fall into place.
Yeah, I agree.
And so, yeah.
Give us a physical picture.
I was going to ask you a question. Like, was this transition? So you're 2 years at Fremont. Like, obviously, it seems like it's a slow mental transition.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like a dimmer switch. I say.
Yeah.
People have a light switch. My shit was like a dimmer switch from the ceiling to the floor. It took a long time.
That makes sense. Okay. Because I'm like, is there this like light bulb moment? But it didn't. Yeah, it was just kind of like a collection of the right choices.
Opportunities happen in your life which usually cause some kind of change. And I ended up getting like a cool job inside prison when I was working. I worked at what they call Colorado Correctional Industries. and you earn minimum wage. But inside prison, minimum wage is like baller status. Yeah. So it's like baller status, right? And I'm investing into learning, just like if you've ever been in a new career path, like that's cool. It takes a lot of your like brain power and a lot of your attention and focus and energy. So I'm learning how to design custom furniture, which is awesome. At the same time, I have two individuals in my life that are kind of speaking to me as mentors. One of them is the owner of NAS Recovery Solutions, Cameron Lundstrom. And he basically just was like, we worked together, we were good friends. He's a little bit older than me. He's probably older than me by about 20 years. So definitely looked up to him as a mentor. And he had done a lot of time already. And I saw the way he did his time was, he was well respected, but he also wasn't coerced or coaxed into just doing what anybody else might have wanted him to do. So he gave me a list of books and he was like, here, read these. Open your mind, even if you don't agree with them, just open your perspective, learn a little bit about history. Sometimes it repeats itself. So sometimes it's good to understand what has happened in the past to be able to kind of foretell what may happen in the future. I was like, damn, that's a dope perspective. I like that. So I will absolutely do that. So I just started understanding more about the world in general. Learning about history, learning about philosophy.
Do you remember what the books were?
Yeah, that's a good question. I want to read it.
Yeah. So there was a lot of books. It was books like Plato. The Oxford Collection of Plato was one of the books that he handed me, and that's quite a lengthy book. Yeah. So just knocking out a few of those. A lot of things from philosophy. We read this book called Flow, the optimal psychology, and that kind of taught me about just how my brain works, about what I like doing. Those were a big book. What was another one? Is it called, oh man, it was a book about the key. I think it was called The Key, or, oh my gosh, what am I calling? The Magic, what's the?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is it The Secret?
The Secret, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, and there's another one too.
It's called like there's
the Master Key? Is it called the
I
Master
think
Key?
something like that, but there's a meditation that I listen to almost probably weekly from that book.
Yeah.
It's incredible. But yeah.
The Secret's about manifestation.
Manifestation, yeah, there's a lot of books like that. And then hit this one, 7 Habits of Highly Effective.
Yeah, dude. Stephen Covey.
Yeah. And that was one thing that in his story, he talked about his dad giving him that book before he was a Gulf War veteran. Mm-hmm. And before he went to the Gulf War, he gave him that book and he didn't read it. And he maybe read like a chapter or two of it and was like, right. And then later on in his life, this many years down the road, after he had came back, after he was struggling with addiction, after he's been in and out of court as a veteran and things like that, having found that book on a bookshelf coming through the county jail and picking that back up and being like, I got to get back to my roots. And so me not knowing the list of books seemed like
That's a good book.
Yeah. That one was the one I was trying to kind of like emphasize on. I was just trying to find a few examples beforehand. But then there was another individual that came. And at the time I was like a power lifter and a bodybuilder. I was doing a lot of that and I was good at powerlifting. I was good at bodybuilding. I wouldn't say it was easy, but it was easier than when Trevor Jones showed up at Fremont from Lyman Correctional Facility and he was like, hey, have you ever tried CrossFit? And I was like, I talk shit to all the CrossFitters.
Right.
Because, you know what I mean? I just,
Absolutely.
for whatever reason, my own ego probably.
100%.
And he's like, yeah, but it's more about character, actually. And like, he just broke down this like easy sentence. He's like, it's cool to be strong and stuff like that. But what if like the fitness had skills or your fitness avenue had skills that you could transfer into like other areas of your life? Like humility and being able to suffer and see good in the suffering, and just like these super stoic, poetic, like little lines that he's dropping that make me think and kind of chew on over my time, just kind of having like this epiphany, like, yeah, you're right, I like that. So he asked me to be a CrossFit coach for a program called, and this is a big program that really changed my life, was Redemption Road Fitness Foundation. This is one of the earliest intervention point. Cam was like a soft touch in the background, always there, always being some oversight and being like, hey, like, this is the realm. Try to head in this direction.
And you're still in a correctional facility when you meet these guys?
Yeah.
Did they just come in from the outside or?
No. Cam did 18 years, and so he had already been down. And his story is pretty amazing, which I'm going to get into here in just a second. And Trevor had juvenile life.
So you met them inside? Mm-hmm. Okay, got it.
Yeah, juvenile life. He was incarcerated since he was 17, I think, possibly 16. And at this time when I met him, I think he was 42.
Holy smokes, dude.
Yep. And one of the most humble, both of them, some of the most humble, kind individuals that you'll ever meet.
So super insightful, I'm sure.
Yeah,
man.
super cool. So when you see things like that, you're like, man, like there's also power in just being true to yourself. And that's the whole reason why I wanted to set that up, like with the honesty thing. Because the conversation with yourself's the first one. You ever met somebody who or a bad boss that's a manager, not a leader? or someone who tries to tell you how to live your life but has zero idea how to live theirs.
Yeah. Or someone who's still trying to prove to everybody else that he's an amazing human being. You're like, dude, you're amazing the way that you are. You don't have to,
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to just be who you're created to be.
And they role modeled that. And it was tangible.
Right.
And I liked it.
You can taste that.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
When you're someone like that walks.
Let me ask you this. What did you see in them that you didn't have?
A better understanding about themselves.
Did you like the humility piece of it that they brought?
Yeah. Yeah. Because it wasn't humility like
You could walk all over me kind of
yeah,
thing?
it wasn't a doormat personality. It was more so like things are going to happen in life.
It's just a
You're not
working
gonna please everybody. There's always going to be people in your court, and there's always going to be people outside of it. Deal with what it is. Be integral to yourself. Focus on your character. Whatever comes from that comes from that.
So good. I mean, if you get nothing else out of this podcast, like all 71 episodes, that's it right there. I mean, that's so true.
Just like live true to yourself, like in alignment. We spoke about this in the last episode.
Absolutely.
When you say you got principles, we all say we got principles.
Sure.
Principles are things that don't change, and they're self-evident whether you believe in them or not. This is one thing I say in my class. If you guys don't believe in gravity, you ain't going to start floating.
Dude, I just said that to my kid last night.
So if you don't believe in honesty, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Or, I mean, if you do believe in honesty and you're not honest, then you're not really living in alignment. I'd say it's really hard to be 100%, but attempting and trying and making continuous effort is what we're talking about, being closer to alignment.
And what happens inside of our souls when we act in alignment with our beliefs?
Yeah, I would say the word itself, you just become more harmonious with yourself. And that's what I like to call harmonious.
And it's so true, dude. Like, and that's the thing is like, it's this gift for us, you know? And it's just crazy to me that it's like, okay, now that I know this, why do I not choose that?
Yeah.
You know?
And so as these people / things, and when I say things, I mean programs, groups, classes, philosophies, ideas, all the above. When they come into my life, I start feeling like I'm on the right path. And you can feel that. You don't need anybody to tell you that. When you need people to tell you you're on the right path, you're probably not.
Totally.
or you're in a lane where you're really new. Because I can see that.
Super true. I like that distinction because I really struggled with this from the onset.
I can imagine.
You know, and
podcast is scary. That's got to be a crazy thing.
Well, and it was a lot of like Aaron, dude. Like my original partner was like, dude, just go with it.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, oh my God, and we're gonna flop. Like, so much fear. So
there's big podcasters that there's episodes where I don't care for. It doesn't mean I don't like the person. It just means I'll listen to the next one.
Right.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that too. You know, in this space, you know, there's not room for a lot of mistakes. You know, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
So Trevor comes in and he says, you're doing a lot for you. What if the skills and gifts you had, you did for others as well? Now, I've been told this before, but something about Trevor arriving at that time in my life was big. And he was like, you should become a CrossFit coach. And it was more than just a CrossFit coach. It was Redemption Road Fitness Foundation, or Redemption Road CrossFit, which is a nonprofit. And it started at Lyman with 10 original people. The 10 guys got together. One of them just got clemency. His name is Brandon Cruiser. He got clemency from the governor on May 20-something.
Nice.
And got out June 1st. And he is currently out after 18 years.
So you can contact.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He lives in Fort Collins. Yeah.
Nice.
When Mitch starts showing up to the gym with us, you'll see him.
Stuck.
You like that? You like that?
That's good. You want to meet him, you got to come to me.
Clip that.
Dude, that's awesome. And I like, too, that you're, like, highlighting the season in your life that you're in, right? Because I think a lot of times we're looking for this epiphany.
Yeah.
That's and it's like...
It's just like little things that you can add.
Yes.
Like little, like, pieces of your chapter that you can, like, you're like, man, I like that piece. I'm going to keep that. And it looks like this stone wall right here.
Right.
It doesn't have to look all...
But it fits.
Perfect. It fits.
Right. And it doesn't always fit
works
perfectly. It doesn't always, it's not comfortable.
Yeah. That's a better example. I turned around, this wall looks a little bit more formal. That was the one I'm talking about. Yeah, the fake one. Like, not everything fits, but boy, did it make a freaking wall.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's strong, you know.
And it's unique.
And it serves its purpose.
So I want to, man, the idea of change, it comes fresh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so small.
Yeah.
But when you look back, I've already said this, but you look back, there's this monumental shift, man. What's that like for you? Like in those moments when you're saying yes to small things, small adjustments, like, yeah, I can do that differently. I can do that differently. What's that feel like for you? What's that process for you? Have you ever thought about that? Like for me, if I want to make a small shift, I add something I'm already doing. Like, okay, I can add it to a lane and then I can just branch off.
Yeah.
And branch off and branch off.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not always, not to be like obstinate to what you're saying, but sometimes it's not always about adding either. Like sometimes when a new thing comes in my life, it's about what other habit could I cut to make this just fit better?
Yes.
Something as simple as being a little bit more humble. So when Trevor comes in my life, he's like, you're leading kind of by example, but like you're also like a bit boisterous and like you're not actually spending time with the hands-on. You're just kind of showing people what like this could look like. And it's not just me. It's like we lift heavy, we talk a lot of shit on the weight pile, and then we get on with our day, right? Whereas CrossFit was like, hey, let's go do this hard workout and see like what skills can transfer over into your life in other areas, like that hard conversation you have to have with your daughter, or like that moment in your life when you realize like, I'm suffering next to somebody who I don't agree with, but that's just fine. That's okay because they're suffering right next to me. And maybe they don't have the same opinion as me, but theirs probably has some value.
Dude, and what you're doing is you're looking around at the people around you and you're taking wisdom.
Yeah.
Right. And you're taking chunks of, you're not applying somebody's entire ideology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. You're never going to run across anybody in life that you totally agree with. And when I see politics, which I definitely don't want to get into, but when I see people that that are like, they got this dude's back or this dude's back or this chick's back or this chick's back, and they're like, whatever they say. And then they say that one thing and they're like, no, fuck that. And it's like, did you expect everything that fell out of their mouth to be 100% correct? Right. Or did you expect the friend that you just, or the boss that you looked up to have the exact same thing as you, and when they say one small thing that dispels every other good thing that they said? Right. So no, you can pull good stuff from a lot of different people.
And that's the danger, dude, in taking an ideology, right? And generalizing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I keep hammering down on, if you have an issue, go have a conversation. Mm-hmm. You know, sit down and talk to that person. Yeah. Normal. You don't have to get angry. Just understand. You know, and that's something I realized too, like anger, just completely useless.
Emotion is feedback. Or I'm sorry, emotion is data or feedback.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not your personality.
Checks and balances, dude.
Yeah. People say, I'm an angry person. It's like, well, you're just angry at sometimes when things happen to you, which is totally understandable. Right. And then some people get on like a downward spiral because they got angry. It's like, bro, you're human. It's cool. Yeah. Just get the fuck over it. You literally harping on this is making it worse.
Yeah.
Shit's gonna happen.
And that's the thing, is like we think that beating ourselves up is making it better.
Yeah, that's the worst fallacy I've ever freaking learned from everybody in my life, because everybody does it.
Dude, I wish that social media would make it like, if you're gonna post 5 things, like you have to post like one like really vulnerable thing about your life. You know?
Mark Zuckerberg's like,
yeah,
I was no vulnerability. You're cut off.
Yeah, no more vulnerability. But it's like, dude, that's like, if we want to progress as people, like I think we need to highlight the real challenges that we have.
Yeah.
You know, and then talk about those, and not talk about them in the sense of like stigma, like identify with this one fucking thing.
But, and this is where Trevor and Cam and people that came into my life taught me that humility is necessary, and working on yourself is a forever journey, and you're never going to arrive at this destination like you may think or you may have been told. So let's just start working on little stuff right now. And that little stuff eventually turned me into really leaning into Redemption or Fitness Foundation. And Cam's in the background kind of being like, cool, follow these principles and these cool things that you've done. So I become a 7 Habits core group member. And I start teaching this class, which inside prison, that was kind of especially at Fremont, because they take that class/group very seriously. And they're looking at your personal life, what you do outside of the class. They're like, oh, yeah, you teach well, cool. But like what do you do when you run a guest contact?
7 Habits. So is it a Stephen Covey?
Stephen Covey's, yeah. It's like his bigger book.
It's like legitimate. Like,
we really never read this book?
Yeah.
Oh, I have, but you can mention.
So in prison, actually, this is a good story too. So we're jumping around a little bit. Let me talk about real quick 7 Habits and how it got formulated. I think it's started in 99 or 2000 in Fremont by a guy who was the ex-director of prisons, Jerry Gasco, who sadly passed away, but he was an amazing individual, taught by another individual named Dan Matchy, who's a pastor at both 4 Mile as well as Fremont. So he comes in, this group of individuals teaches this class, and they teach it on like a 12-week cycle, and they're always inputting, but they have core group members, which is like this team of people who live the 7 Habits inside of a crazy-ass place like prison. So when you become a core group member, you're highly scrutinized beyond the scenes, which at first I was like, Don't be telling me what to do. This is my life. Yeah, it's a hard thing to say yes to. But I also noticed that, man, if this is scary, it's probably got something good.
You see the other guys that are doing this,
Yeah.
you're thinking, these are bad guys to emulate.
No, they're not bad guys to emulate. And even if I don't agree with everything or I don't like, they're not quite, I'm coming from a little bit more, I would say not everybody, but most of the individuals are coming from a different mentality.
Sure.
Definitely, I'm a young person compared to everybody else. I'm 26, 25 years old at this time. Everybody's like, this kid's going to probably fuck this off, but let's give him a chance anyways. It ended up really changing the way I perceived what you do outside of the important time. If you're a teacher or a coach or a podcaster or a boss or a whatever, foreman, that time in which you're at work and directing traffic, it's important. You're expected to be on top, on point at least. What you do outside of that is going to be even more important to how you show yourself when it's important.
Dude, and
That's what I learned.
You know what's crazy too to me about what you just said is why are we better at performing at work?
Yeah, because you feel like you have to turn it on.
There's consequences, bro.
There is consequences.
Well, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
And that's
It's all connected, Luke.
Yeah. And you say consequences. These are, those are almost man-made consequences. I
Exactly.
love
Totally.
natural consequences. So what you do outside of
I like you that.
the stage is natural consequences. What you do on the stage is man-made consequences.
Totally.
You do bad, your audience doesn't like you. Yeah, cool. Natural consequence. Knew that was gonna happen. I flip out and blow off somebody at work. Cool. Natural consequence. Right up, fired, whatever. Right. Outside of that, I live outside of my integrity. I'm dishonest. I'm unloyal. I speak poorly behind people's back when they're not in the room. Natural consequences are going to be you're not harmonious anymore. So now the stage is going to be off because you feel like you're living a different life than you're a different person. So now when you're just on stage, you feel like there's this dichotomy or this split or cognitive dissonance within yourself. So natural harmony is like being able to just be you no matter what. And natural consequences are always going to be there. So don't worry about the man-made consequences because if you're doing what's right, things are going to happen like they're supposed to. And that's a peace of mind that you really can't buy, but you can only learn from experience.
Man,
Clip that. That's so
this is, I'll say this is probably one of the hardest podcasts I've been on this side of the table with because it's hard to get in the narrative because there's so much depth.
Yeah, there is.
Right?
Yeah.
When I start feeling depressed, there's something in me that disagrees with who I believe I'm supposed to be. And I'm living out of alignment, like you're saying. I'm not being who I think. Either I need to change who it is I think I'm supposed to be, or I need to change what I'm doing to align better with what I'm created to be. But like when that's off in me, I feel it. I see it. I know it.
Yeah.
Things aren't going the way doesn't mean things are going always easy, but there's something off. There's a hitch in my step.
Yeah.
Hitch in my giddy up. As my
energy.
mentor. Yeah, man. I want to get back to the narrative, right? So you're doing this class, right? You're part of it now. Give us more of the insight of where you're at timeline.
Yeah, both of these kind of happen simultaneously. As I become a core group member, I also become a Redemption Road Fitness Foundation coach. And the CrossFit coaching was quite the same realm, even more intense behind the scenes. Because it's new.
Yeah,
It's been 7 Habits.
yeah, totally.
So 7 Habits core group is like the people who teach inside, and they're paying attention to what you do, right? Do you not sit with this race in the child? Like, are you still subscribing to the code of conduct in which we're kind of trying to break people away from? The Redemption Road Fitness Foundation coach spot, is a long name, it's a mouthful, was more like, when you're out there lifting, it's less about you, it's more about helping. And that's a cool ass lesson.
Yeah, dude.
That's one at 26 years old was like huge. That was that huge intervention in my own mind.
Service to another.
Service to another person is one of the easiest ways to be able to find alignment. You got to find the service lane, right? If you're helping people and
Right. Yes, dude.
the wrong thing like GED and you can't fucking simple ass math, try in the wrong lane. You ain't gonna
That's
feel.
so imperative, man. But it's the truth, right?
Well, and this is why I like kind of our mission statement, right? Is like come away, like shatter your own stigma, find your truth, right? And then discover your purpose.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you have to do them in those order.
Yeah.
In not order. Like you have to discover yourself first so that you can plug into a service mentality that means something to you.
Yeah.
You know, when you're passionate about something, it's just going to come out of you.
You can't stifle that.
Yeah. You can't stifle it. You're going to be good. So it's going to feel good.
Right. And even when you're bad, You're excited enough
Yeah.
to keep going.
To learn from the bad,
absolutely.
right? Lessons, not losses, right? You did poorly here. What can I take from that last thing that I can just make better? A lot of people look at, failures as the end of the road, or they feel like this is like something that is pulling them away. Like, failure can be amazing.
Failure is amazing.
What if you knew how many no's you had before you got the yes?
Golly.
What if you knew? What if you had a ticker? I ask people this. I have these cool metaphors, and this is one of them. It's kind of like similar. I always forget the number of tries that it took to get the light bulb correct, but it's kind of like pulled from that. Imagine you were applying for your dream job, but you had to get 99 no's before you got that 100 yes.
You'd burn through.
You burn through those no's, and every single time you got a no, you'd be like, fuck yeah, you can make it rain with those no's to be able to get to 100. But because we don't know, we look at those because we don't, K-N-O-Y, or W, I mean, then we don't, we didn't know those N-O's, those no's coming, like, were actually to our benefit, because it was just like life being like, that's not the door, bro. That's not it. Right. Not quite yet.
Or
learn from that. You fucked that up.
That's
You're
it.
going to need that skill when you get to that final yes at that 100th no.
But you don't know that too when you get back. You're like, oh my gosh, I've done all this before in a different setting, and so I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be right now because of all that frustration.
Yeah.
Dude, and and I can sit here in my own experience and say 40 years of that, 37 years of that, and frustration of like having this idea of who I was supposed to be and just not understanding how that was supposed to manifest itself in my life.
Yeah. So this is now taking place inside of a correctional facility, inside of my soul as well.
That's crazy.
Teaching this class, being open to criticism, and not getting upset about it, or not having to have a pissing contest. And even if I do have an emotional response, being like, that motherfucking shit probably hit a chord for a reason.
Yep. Absolutely.
Like,
there's
when
something
people get
there.
defensive,
Right, there's something
I tell
there.
people this, right? Like, if I let's say, Mitch, I hate your blue hair. Did that hurt your feelings? Did that hurt your feelings?
No, is that not?
You don't have blue hair.
Right.
Yeah. That's all right. Yeah.
I use the same thing all the time. I know where you're going.
But you knew, like, if I do, like, you like legitimately, that wouldn't hurt your feelings if I was like, bro, your blue hair sucks. You'd be like,
true.
yeah, cool, whatever. I'm gonna get on with my day. Keep trucking, right? Then when somebody's like, hey, this area, I saw that you probably could have had a softer touch with this individual when you were working with them because you came off a bit abrupt, and they really didn't respond to that. You're like, well, that's my style. That's how I like teaching.
Right.
If your natural reaction is that, it's like, yeah, that's struck a chord because there's probably some truth to that.
You take nothing away. You'll dismiss it.
Yep.
But if you know that you spot it, you got it kind of thing.
Well, and that's the definition of wisdom.
Yep. Being able to, yeah.
And being able to take those things and apply them to our lives. And, and I'll tell you, dude, this podcast started to grow when Elliot started being honest.
Yeah. Nice.
With me about hijacking episodes and talking too much and making it about me. And, that was a really hard thing to hear.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, you're right.
Isn't it? Is his intention to hurt your feelings, or is his intention to make the show better?
Exactly.
And that's the same thing was going on in me. Was their intention to tell me that I'm not the best coach out of the gate? And there's the thing that I asked the question earlier, were you guys naturally talented as a young individual? Because when I learned this terrible lesson in my life that I'm good at shit right away.
Right.
And I don't need to take feedback because I'm naturally talented. And that was the worst lesson at a young age that I was programmed. I probably programmed it myself in my own brain.
Even though it probably there was an element of truth to it.
There was. That's why it was so easy to program into me.
And that's the thing that, dude, these stories that we create, you sent me this video, and it's like sometimes the thing that takes us off the path that we're supposed to be on is something that makes so much rational sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like the enemy in your story, whoever that is, can use that against you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if he makes it think like it's your idea to come off the path, then good Lord, dude, like you're screwed.
So Redemption Fitness Foundation was started in 2017/18, somewhere around there, by 10 individuals, actually 11, at Lyman Correctional Facility. 10 of some of the best people I know. One of those people I just mentioned earlier was Trevor Jones. He got moved to Fremont because he was part of a JCAP program. And that actually eventually led to his ability to get released, which he's out right now and has been out for, I think it's been about 4 years. That's awesome. And those hard conversations from those individuals like Cameron, like Trevor, and then I eventually got moved to Lyman. When I got moved to Lyman, it was not on a good move. So I was at Fremont learning all these hard lessons, learning how to be a better individual, but still, like when you first learn things, you don't quite have the total gravity of it. Like,
There's friction points for sure.
There's knowledge and there's experience.
Yeah.
right? You can get the knowledge, but then you got to go apply it.
Being able to apply it is the hard part.
Yeah.
And learning those lessons is still going to happen. Yeah. So I don't look at every failure, but okay, so here's what happened. I ended up having a CEO that kind of recognized me and my bro's gains, and he just offered us some supplements. Like as a meathead at 26, 27 years old, even on a good path, even being scrutinized. Like, okay, so tell me from a perspective of individuals who haven't been inside prison. If a CEO is like, yo, you want some creatine? What are you going to say?
Immediately, yes.
Especially if fitness is your life.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not saying that was correct, but there's also this whole lane of other things like principles.
But for where you're at, it's a big no. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the answer should be immediately no.
Cops are going to look at that and be like, that directly turns into bringing 18 pounds of meth and getting the whole yard.
Right, dude.
Right?
100%.
Which I get that, right? Or blueprints to make this grand escape.
Those roles are there for a reason.
Mm-hmm. And then the 7 Habits core group members are looking at it like, he just compromised staff.
But they know that you've accepted creatine.
No, they don't. No.
But it was
Nobody knows.
Can I
Nobody
ask you,
knows.
this was creatine.
Yeah.
It is creatine.
Just supplements and stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha. But these are harmless supplements is what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Okay,
To the normal everyday guide, you can go get this at GNC and it's not against the law.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
This is a contraband.
No. But it is contraband because they don't allow
It's there,
creatine.
right.
Yep.
But it's
So
for
like
us
the
right
playing
now.
field is hard, right? When you're learning these things, like
100%,
that's quite the moral conundrum if I've ever had one before. So I said yes. I was like, absolutely, let's go, let's roll this shit. So I was doing that for a while, a good amount of time, and eventually you get found out. Everybody
Sure.
had a stack of kites dropped at Intel's desk, telling people like something's going on, right? They just you can
Gains are
notice
insane.
things.
This can't be right.
Yeah. Gains are insane. Also, they just notice that this individual's a little close to this individual.
Yeah.
That's an immediate red flag. So I get moved to Lyman Correctional Facility. Mind you, I am like the top 3, if not like the lead coach at Fremont. Then I get moved to this place where it started. Fremont's like a medium yard. It's like a level 3 yard. Lyman's a level 4 yard. So it's a little bit different. It's more like Sterling where I first landed. And
It's strict.
it's strict, but like the people that are there are a little bit different of a caliber.
Paint that picture real quick as you can.
It's hard.
In what way?
Fremont, everybody's on a trip, in my opinion, at least where I was at. Let's get better. Let's do better. Let's get away from this prison mentality. Lyman's like, we're just doing this for 30 years.
We're stuck.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah. Fair
This
enough.
is my lifestyle, and this is what it is.
Right. That's exactly what I'm asking.
totally.
Yeah.
So you're in line.
So I'm in Lyman, but it's not all like that. And especially with the CrossFit stuff. And I start teaching 7 Habits in Lyman. I go there and I'm like, hey, I was a core group member. And they knew why I got moved. It was a compromise of staff. And the 7 Habits team that was at Lyman was, I would say, a little bit more lax. So they were like, that's all right. Just do better. And I was like, cool. Gotcha.
That's nice.
The CrossFit team, the original 10, the impetus of this now almost, national nonprofit that's going on was like, let's look at this. And this is why this is important. There's like professional credentials. The original 10 people got their CrossFit level 1. They reached out to CrossFit headquarters and they had the crazy idea, what if we get professionally credentialed, right? Brandon Cruiser was one of the people that kind of like helped reach out, and Damien Urqueo was one of the other co-founders, but Nick Wells is the current president of Redemption Fitness Foundation. And he was like, that ain't gonna work. Y'all are tripping balls if you think that we're gonna reach out to CrossFit headquarters at a level 4 maximum security type prison and get CrossFit level 1 credentialing, because that requires, number one, $1,000 from each person. Number 2, that requires a seminar staff or team of staff to come out to run this seminar. And number 3, that requires a yes from a lot of people that are used to and
saying
totally
no.
fine with saying no.
Yeah.
That makes their day, right?
100%.
Their job security is no.
Right. Yeah.
Their job security is no. But guess what? That shit happened. They made a big enough fuss about it, in a good way, that they were so freaking dead set on changing the culture because they believed that bringing in this passion, we were all passionate about one thing, obviously, to get to prison, whether that be money, drugs, codependent relationships, any of that kind of stuff. We're all passionate about that. When you can find somebody that passionate and put them in the lane that brings good or edifies their life, whew, that's a motherfucker I want on my team.
Yeah,
I've seen half-assed steppers before. I've seen lukewarm type of people before. It's cool that you didn't get in all this trouble. It's cool that you didn't take this to the extreme before, but I don't really want you on my team. I'm not saying that you wouldn't be a fantastic person in life, but my team kind of requires a little bit more of that tenacity.
Right.
And people that were in that lifestyle and changed lanes and changed directions and quite literally changed the principles of the harmony that we were talking about at the beginning of this episode, those are unstoppable forces.
Dude, I want to key on that because there are people that are listening. They're still in active addiction, right? Yep. Everybody on my team, whatever office that we're in, they're all 12-steppers.
Yep.
They're all ex-addicts.
Yep.
Because they're dogs, dude.
Yep.
Like there's a massive amount of hope for you because you know what it looks like to go to the end of something.
Yep.
Pick a different something.
Yep.
And you're a dog.
Yeah.
So these professionals, did they get their professional status before you got there?
Yep.
So you're walking
now,
into these professionals.
Yeah. So this timeline right here, right? So Lyman popped it off. That's why it came to Fremont from Trevor. Fremont popped it off, the second facility to gain an actual affiliate status from CrossFit headquarters. I'm basically manning the damn ship, along with the help of amazing gym. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like my fall from grace was from a high distance.
Got it.
So when I got to Lyman, I think there's 14 current coaches, 12 of which said, okay, so the CrossFit level 1 there's the second one happening. The first one was successful, 100% success rate with the 10 original individuals at Lyman. Now they're going to do this at Fremont, but it's actually happening at Lyman. So they're going to bus all the people from Fremont to Lyman to get their CrossFit level 1 because now we have 2 facilities.
That's a really big deal.
It's a really fucking big deal, right?
Yeah.
So now they have this group of individuals. I was the lead. I've been studying for about 6 months to a year, every single day, making flashcards. I had a study group. Like this is the thing that's feeding my soul at this moment. Now I got moved. Not on the best of terms.
Right.
At least as far as administration is concerned, which is the ruler over everything that we do inside.
Sure. That's God for you there, dude.
And at that moment, there was a question, do we let Taylor take his level 1? It was 2 weeks away. I had just arrived at Lyman, maybe the day before, having this really hard conversation with a team of individuals that I feel a huge connection to, but don't know on a personal level other than maybe a day. 12 of the individuals said yes, needed to be unanimous. 2 of the individuals said no. 2 individuals that said no were Brandon Cruiser and Jonathan Willis. Now, I talked about Cameron and Trevor being huge early intervention points. I was still really young when they were in my life, so I was listening to about 75, maybe 50% of what they were saying, which was still a huge benefit in my life and really caused like the nudge in the direction. Brandon Cruiser and John actually pulled me aside and they were like, yo, there's like, we said no for a reason. What if you come back from this? What if that story is out there? There's going to be a lot of people that mess up. This was a really hard choice because everybody kind of like, I feel like I'm pretty, I don't mean this to sound this in like a bad way, but I'm naturally liked pretty well. Like, sure. You know what I mean? Like charismatic, maybe a word.
Yeah.
And so like, it was kind of hard for them to say no, but they stood on their freaking toes, like all 10 of them. And they were just like, we got to make this decision for the betterment of the future of this program and like what it stands for. If we just say like, yeah, like we say all this good shit, but we really don't follow it because we've found somebody that might fit the role real well, right? With fitness as goes, then what would we be? We'd just be probably just another prison program that's going to last about 6 months like everything else.
But both of these gentlemen approached you after their no.
Yeah. And they were, and that was a hell of respect. Like that's a huge deal because a lot of people that say no, they duck. You know, like, this motherfucker didn't know who it was. Yeah, because I knew there was 2 people. They didn't tell me which 2 people.
So both of them, and that's going back into that love piece, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I could tell immediately that they didn't do that out of any kind of spite.
Yeah.
No spite.
So where do we go from there, dude?
We walk a lap. Brandon, John, we walk a lap. They tell me why they made the decision. They said, here's the path forward. If you take this, it's so honorable. If you don't, we also understand. We didn't mean any ill intent. We just want to explain our reasoning behind why we said no.
It's amazing.
Fast forward about 9 months. I was fully on board. I was like, yep, I'm with that shit. I can.
Do you remember the path that they gave you?
Yeah, it was basically don't fuck up.
Fair enough.
Yeah, don't fuck up. Say yes when we ask. Show up. Be a role model. Continue to act as a coach, as a participant.
Yeah.
That's honorable.
Just tighten the ship up.
Let's see if you can do it.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can act as a coach and continue to act with the character that we require of you with no benefit.
Humility, bro.
Yeah, with no, yeah, exactly. They require humility, yeah. Which has been a struggle my entire life, if I don't say that, still to this day. But I said yes. Now I wouldn't say I did the perfect job, but at least in their eyes, it was good enough. So fast forward 9 months, they're actually asking me, Brandon, John, and Eric Jensen, 3 of the original 10, get asked by Warden Long at Sterling Correctional Facility, who is once a major at Lyman, to come to his facility, Sterling, where I started my entire story, to come back to the low side and create the biggest CrossFit program there ever has been in Colorado. Same thing, Redemption Run Fitness Foundation, but this is going to be like the Mecca. We're going to buy you guys what you need. We're going to do this. We got to be on point. And this is hard, starting from ground zero again.
I love that.
Third time I've started from ground zero. So I know how to do it well. I got the experience on how to be able to bring that ship back up. So I get to Sterling. They ship us off. That's a real big deal. I leave Lyman on a positive note. First facility I've not been kicked out of and left on a positive note.
Are you going there as a resident, or are you going there just?
Yeah, no, I'm a prison. I still got
So
my
you're gonna
number.
go live there.
I'm gonna go live there. They're treating me like a staff member, asking things up. Not the inmates, the staff. The warden's asking me like, "Yo, I want this basically to make me look good, but also it's gonna help the people, right?
100%.
It's gonna help the people. You guys get what do you get out of it? You get to figure that out.
Okay, so let me get inside your head here. You're a really, not just an okay place. You're at the best place you've been since you're going back to,
Yeah,
so from your beginning, this is the best place.
Lyman's comfortable for sure.
I'm saying like mentally.
Oh, mentally,
you're,
okay.
You're locked in,
Yeah.
right? And they're saying, hey, can you go back to square one
Yep.
and get these guys to get locked in with you? Where are you at? Like, are you excited about this idea?
fuck yeah.
So you're in.
So
you're all
excited.
in.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
If you've ever had a fresh start, it's nice.
Oh my gosh.
Because like I had to work myself out of a hole at this area.
Sure.
Now I can go restart at another area with that story.
Yeah.
Because other people can fuck up. And I quite literally use my testimony to be like, yo, I fell from grace before. And man, I may have complained a little bit, but really I took that shit on the chin. It's possible.
You can too.
You can too. Yeah. And that could sound really cheesy or cliche if you hadn't done that before.
Totally.
But when you've done it, he says this all the time. And I know he's quoting somebody else, but you're saved from something to someone.
Yep.
Or to something.
Do something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just the delivery from something, like whatever it is, emotional, that spiritual weight,
So we go to Sterling, 4 of us. Eric Jensen ends up getting like clemency like 3 weeks later. And
Was he expecting that? Was everybody expecting that?
ish.
So you knew you were about to lose this guy.
Yeah,
This
these are the
everyday
guys.
version
Yeah.
of him.
So it's Brandon, John, myself. Our job, go to this new facility, start a team, bring this whole idea of live better outside the gym to be better inside every other area of your life, and you learn it here.
Are you still
in the
doing
forge.
the 7 habits there?
Yeah, yeah.
So you're doing both.
Yeah, so we actually started that up again too.
So it wasn't there
this
before
whole-
you?
Just this,
Yeah, it was off and on. It was not like super structured like it was at Lyman or Fremont though.
Got it. So
Yeah.
2 new things.
2 new things
But your
possibly.
first
right now,
team is towards
but it's CrossFit, RF2 Redemption Road. So we go there, we start this thing, we start bringing people. We start popping off. Sterling gets to become the best. Check this out. We get to wear normal clothes in the gym.
yeah.
We wear coach t-shirts or uniforms. We teach the nursing staff CrossFit outside of our GP classes. We open up class structures from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.-ish on a daily basis.
And you're there
Higher coaches.
nonstop.
Yeah. I was working 16-hour days during COVID. That was a real dark time. We were teaching behind glass with the microphone with an N95 mask behind glass, right? That's another story, right?
Sure.
But actually, no, that's not another story because I fucking didn't realize that COVID popped off 3 weeks after we landed at Sterling. So they give us all this freedom and then they say, psych.
Right.
And so we're one of the only programs that continues to profit through COVID. And in COVID, everybody out here was like, we're on lockdown. Inside, we're like, we're on lockdown. Like, that shit's
Double lockdown. Yeah.
like my
super
motherfucking
lockdown.
door's locked and I don't get a shower. Like you guys out here talking about lockdown on TV. I was like, shut the fuck up.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I was like, hell no. Right? So we're like locked behind these doors and shit like that. But we still find like there's now a rec period. We have to, COVID starts to lessen up a little bit after about like 6 or 9 months. And Sterling's one of the places where there was the most deaths because of COVID. So there's a lot of political controversy that's stirring up. So we like literally haul all this equipment from a gym 100, 200 yards outside to this flat cement area, run properly spaced in 99-degree heat throughout the summer as coaches, getting fried. But this is the coolest shit in the world.
You
They're
say
giving us an
Sterling?
opportunity.
Where is this? Sterling, Colorado you're in?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, Sterling, Colorado. And so we're teaching these classes. We're making it through COVID. Eventually, COVID kind of slows down. And we get RF2 back to like this place where it's just awesome. We're having Zoom calls with other facilities. We're meeting with all these people. Like we're actually running this organization within prison. You know what that did? Scared the shit out of them.
I'm sure.
Scared the shit out of them. But it ended up growing to a thing that now we're in 12 of the 18, almost 13 of the 18 facilities within Colorado.
I want to get inside your head though.
Yeah.
So in this time, it's popping up. It's going really, really well, right? Do you know how much time you have left on your sentence at this point?
Yeah. So when I reached Sterling, how much time do we have left? Do you mind me asking?
What did you want?
Okay,
Just
cool.
keep going.
Okay, cool. So while we're at Sterling, I realized that I'm getting close to the door.
Like, what does that mean? You realize you get close.
I'm about when I moved to Sterling, it's 5 years of the first possible time in which I could put in. So I got about 5 years left. 5 years.
Basically, you think I got 5 years of doing this?
5 years of doing this. That's short timers for 5 years. So I have
Sure.
a 28-year sentence. I'm around a bunch of people. John Willis, when he got moved there, got an override because he had life without parole. Brandon Cruiser had 55 years, basically a life sentence because he's not getting out till he's about 60 years old, and he also got an override. So there's all this like political like weight on us as well to start this program.
How much time have you served at this point?
About I don't know, probably like 7 years.
So you're about 7 years in.
Yeah.
There's a shot. And you think, okay, 5 years out. So I could do this for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yep.
So Sterling, it's popping off.
Yep, Sterling, we're doing really good, and this is when you just dial in.
Yeah.
This is when I learned how to lead men, people.
It's
when I learned
hard
how
men to lead.
myself. Yeah. I'm living in a hallway with all of our coaches watching every single action. I don't get to go home from work.
Yeah.
They asked me to be a leader. This time we've grown our team to about 25 people. We just gravitated all the individuals who were looking for something like this that couldn't quite find it. Mm-hmm. And we did a good job. I would say there's always mistakes and there's always feelings that get hurt and there's always things and regrets that you can look back on. But the majority of what we did, it was extremely positive, and it's still going on today. And it created this momentum that really is really hard to stop at the current moment inside DOC. You have to try, which is crazy.
That's amazing. And it's directed by you guys. You know, like that's incredible. Like inmates.
You have a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. Like,
Yeah. Like ish. It kind of. Actually,
I mean,
it's
you're in
quite
prison.
quite the task
Yeah,
to run a nonprofit when they really don't want you to run a nonprofit.
Yeah.
And then, dude, just looking at the state of the world and all of the things that are stacked against you guys.
Yeah, like this is during COVID, all the political stuff that was going on at that time during 2020, 2021. There's a lot of tension on the
It's crazy.
If you think like the tension about like George Floyd and things like that was intense out here,
Yeah, dude.
inside where it's already racially tense, it was
And violent.
So you give me 12 years, right? And you did 11.
I did 11.
So you get up to the fourth year. Do you know it's coming?
Yeah. So I'm working towards this. I don't know it's coming, but also like I met my friend. His name's BJ, and he starts getting me involved in like peer coaching. Cam sent me a book in 2020. Cameron's out starting a company called NAS Recovery Solutions. Now Cameron's out there. Now I'm gonna go into NAS. Right? RF2's helped me to craft me to who I am, and it's amazing. And it's also crafted like hundreds, if not thousands of individuals just to become better as far as their character goes. And what is your character, right? Who you are when no one's looking.
Right.
Who you are when the decision isn't being viewed by someone else's opinion.
Scrutinized.
It's
Yeah.
truly who
Or
you
the shit
freaking
hits
are.
the fan, yeah.
Yeah, or if the shit hits the fan. And character is revealed when hard times are at your front door, not when easy times are at your front door. So RF2's done a fantastic job of shaping me. Cameron sends me a book called Recovery Coaching at 2020 and says, hey, I'm going to start this peer coaching business. When are you getting out? And I said, fuck, like 4 or 5 years maybe? He said, cool, I'll be ready for you when you're out. And in my head, I was like, damn, hell yeah, that's cool. Because when you hear hope,
Yeah. Dude. It's addictive.
Elliot, clip that. No, I'm kidding.
That's crazy.
But I mean, it's the offering that keeps us breathing, dude. A little bit of hope.
Yep. That's what people chew on inside to
Oh, I can
kill
imagine,
themselves.
dude. That's got to be, a
Yep.
big deal in there.
People with life especially.
So you go 4 years, and what's that like finding out that it's time for you to hop out? Like, give us that.
So Byron and a few of my other friends like Forrest and there's so many people that were involved in getting me onto my peer coaching kind of lane. And there's this it's an LLC, it was a nonprofit now called Milestone. And I was involved in Milestone. They did a lot of things like helping me get my certified addiction technician training. They helped me get my peer coaching credential. Not only did they help this, but Forrest and BJ and all these individuals created this thing called APRS, which is now Advanced Peer Recovery Specialist Training, which is now Crosswalk through COPA, which is now the Colorado leading head of peer coaching. We created this, and when I say we, all I did was some citing and shit like this, but it helped. We created this inside of a really dark environment that put up wall after wall after wall. And my buddy BJ said something cool. He said, we just get in the business of building doors when they put up those walls so that other people can walk through behind us. So we created this whole now sector of peer coaching. They killed that shit, but it for 4 or 5 years there, we were putting out gold. And now these individuals are out here. And when I exit prison, I had an opportunity to go to Larimer County Community Corrections. My time is coming up. Everything in Colorado is discretionary, parole and community corrections. Meaning like they could just continue to tell me no, even my date is there. Notice that, right? So Colorado system is a lot more subjective than most should probably be ethically. But that's for another time. I'm at this time, I put in my paperwork to be able to get out, and all the work that we've been doing presentations about. I was the lead speaker for Redemption or Fitness Foundation. BJ was the lead speaker for Milestone. We kind of teamed up in this, bringing peer support into CrossFit. And it made sense because CrossFit was peer support, and peer support could utilize CrossFit and like the guidelines. Exactly. So we start doing all these presentations to people in community corrections. They come to the Sterling prison to watch me and my buddy and the team of us that helps do all the things behind the scenes that a lot of people take for granted, right? They're doing all this stuff. And like we create this wonderful presentation time after time after time, 3 months, 6 months go out, a year go out. We start doing all these stuff. We just start communicating what we're doing inside and how crazy awesome it is. And like, you guys should get on this. So then the halfway house reaches out to me. They're like, would you want to come to Fort Collins halfway house and like start some peer coaching stuff? I was like, damn.
So you're in.
That's a request that not a lot of people, I have, mind you, 2 attempted murders. First degree attempted murders is the first time that I get to see any kind of action. And a lot of the time when you have a really high profile, it's not high profile, but like a high level case like that, they usually put you off a time or two. It's easy for the community to be like, well, maybe not the first time.
Yeah.
They accepted me the first time. They brought me there. We start peer coaching.
In Cameron Collins.
Yep. Cameron reaches out to me. He says, you want to be a peer coach?
Slow down there. Give me that. I mean, like, give me, where is your head at when you're leaving? I mean, you've been a penitentiary for 11 years, and you're getting to see the free world, a halfway house. You're going to the free world, wearing all your own clothes, eat whatever the hell you want. Like, you've been super duper structured.
Yep.
Everything's, I mean, at this point, it was forced, but then it became a choice. Now you have all the freedom to make the wrong choices.
Yep.
Where was your head at? Like,
it's so excited. You guys ever got like a new something? And it's just like, you're just walking around, just bricked up. I'm just kidding.
I know exactly what you mean.
I think you're overstating that, dude. You walk around with the constant, just overwhelming, like, I can't believe I get. Like, I get. It's a Christmas morning every day when you open your eyes.
Yeah.
So that's where your head's at.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so stoked. So stoked. And like, this is like I'm 30 years old. Like, and I feel like my entire life has just been upward trajectory. And I love that I was at a low trajectory at one point because I can communicate some. I mean, I wasn't like so heavily involved when I was at a low trajectory that I have like this like huge rapport, but I had enough of a relationship with a lot of individuals that lived this lifestyle in the past that they respect the upward trajectory a lot. And they love watching it. And that's so cool.
What an understatement, dude, because you are 2 counts of first degree attempted murder. I don't know any lower, my guy. The mindset that has to be like, I've been on an upward trajectory. Dude, that's why.
It's exciting. It's exciting. Whenever somebody's at rock bottom, I'm like, bro, if you log it right now, dude,
if you log it right now,
5 years is going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's so awesome to be that. And so I'm getting out. It's not like the clouds parting like I thought, because I'm still going to a facility, so there's still quite a bit of like
structure.
Yeah, which was great. I love the fact that I had the structure. Allowed me to save money better, allowed me to not chase stupid things that I could have. It allowed me to just kind of stay dialed in on the things that helped me get to where I was at with a little bit more freedom. Yeah. And I highly recommend community corrections to a lot of individuals who've done a lot of time. But I can see also it's just nice to be free as well, like going on parole. But I do see some success differences in those 2 exit strategies. Yeah.
And working with men that are doing that actively. You're today.
Yep. Yeah. So I get out. I get a personal training job. Peer coaching is there, but you can't really peer coach while you're in the halfway house. And also, my mind set at this time was, I'm a little tired of this justice setting involvement. I just want to live and speak to normal people.
Yeah.
Right. So I get a personal training job. And I actually called the gym at the time, and they said, we don't hire felons. And I was like,
You told this story. This
yeah,
is a
yeah,
great
yeah,
story.
yeah. I told the story, and I was like, bring me in for an interview. Maybe I might surprise you. Ended up getting hired, ended up being the #1 selling personal trainer for 6 months in a row. Ended up making a really good, like a lot of awesome relationships at this gym. But not only that, I think that I acted in such a way that brought all my friends behind me and gave them an opportunity. Because the general manager, she's awesome. Shout out to Stacy. She's a dope ass person. But the person, she saw what kind of individual she thought I was, right? I don't know if the original opinion of me was necessarily bad, but it was definitely wary.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
Definitely wary.
Sure.
And so I just tried to do the best I could. Yeah. And it ended up being pretty good. And I was like the #1 selling personal trainer for a few months in a row. And then other people started coming out behind me. So they were coming to Fort Collins, and people were putting up balls, and I got in the good habit of building doors, like my friend BJ said. Now, everybody got hired at this gym. They were killing the game. They took over my selling #1 spot. I ended up eventually leaving that job. I was also working at Orange Theory as a coach for Orange Theory at the same time. So I was just like in the halfway house grinding. And I'm also working on this peer coaching industry because I got to start my own LLC. I got to like figure out how I'm going to do that. I got to have all these things set up for success, because when you get out, there's quite a bit of sacrifice in the peer coaching job at the beginning of that career choice, where a lot of people don't see that. So then when I leave the personal training spot, I get into this company called NAS Recovery Solutions. And that is the job that I'm currently the director of. And at the moment, Cameron and Linda, his wife, are doing some cool ass shit. They're going to halfway houses and they're teaching classes like 7 Habits, highly effective people. So Cameron was once a core group member for me when I first got into that, and just kind of said, just read this book, live it, see if it doesn't help you. Son of a bitch, she was right.
It's crazy, right?
Were you this way as a kid? Like, I mean, you at this point you're unstoppable, and you like, when I say unstoppable, you just don't quit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seems like you close one book to open another book.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're just nonstop. Were you like that always?
Yeah.
Probably have been.
Probably. Yeah. No, you know what? No.
So you
squandered
grew
a
into that.
fucking shitload of my potential as a kid.
Yeah.
Let's be
You know,
honest.
I
I'm gonna be
will-
honest with
I
myself
will
right
say
now.
this,
I'd
like-
love to say that, but fucking no.
But I think that's what
You always had, you always had. I think, from what I understand from both your episodes, is you always had this like, okay, well, I can do this. I'm just going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was just more of a twist in your moral perception.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
You know,
and
and it
also
was-
I was still a bum. Like when I was younger.
I guess that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Were you a bum?
Yeah.
Because you're not.
Yeah. I was in my potential with what I could have done. Most people might not have seen that from the outside, and they probably still did. Like I was selling drugs to get high and barely make it by as I skated, because I thought that was a cool life of freedom. And honestly, it was the biggest lie and trap that I've ever told myself.
Yes. Did you always have desire for greatness?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even when you get-
That's why I did skateboarding and snowboarding. I wanted to be the best at that.
Yeah.
But other things held me back, like that lifestyle, drug dealing.
I was going to ask you a question. So, in your last episode, you said that you had an opportunity to reconcile with one of the guys you shot.
So check this out, right? I start working for NES Recovery Solutions. I start becoming a peer coach. Cameron, the role in which he puts me in is just a peer coach at first, but also the communicative one. So talking to facilities, all these these presentations that we did while inside, both BJ and me, I created some awesome relationships. Number one, a big byproduct of that relationship was me being asked to come to Fort Collins. Cool. So cool. Also, all the other halfway houses, all the other people that were involved in that kind of setting just said like, oh, you're working with NAS now? Yeah, come on in.
That's cool.
Teach them classes like CrossFit, 7 Habits, and all that stuff that you did that you didn't know was going to plug into your future, but you just did it with an open heart and open mind that actually practically applied into your life. And I was like, damn, isn't this a hell of a full circle? Well, you know the craziest full circle? I think it was a Thursday. And it was an evening, probably like, I think I taught from like 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I went to a facility in Longmont and I taught my class 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And on my way out, I have my little briefcase in my hand with my laptop that I plug in for my PowerPoint. And I exit through the back door because I parked by the back alley. And as I'm exiting the back door, I see some dude that was usually in my class. And I kind of just joke with him. I'm like, hey, where were you at in class today? And he said, at work. I'll be there next week. I'm like, no big deal. But the person that was sitting next to him outside on a smoking patio with a back alley, just kind of painting the picture of a halfway house, relatively sketchy, looks up from his phone. We lock eye contact, and lo and behold, that was the individual that I had shot 12 years prior.
Did he recognize you immediately?
Oh, yeah.
Without question.
Without question. He looks up, looks down on his phone. My body starts tripping. I can see his body starts tripping. Like your nervous system kind of puts you back in like this crazy state. More so for him, not me. I'm not trying to make my situation seem like that would be crazier for me than him. But I saw a few things flash before me. A few options, I should say. Option 1, keep on trucking. You're on parole, you're doing good. That's not some can of worms that you want to open. But then I saw option B and I was like, you selfish, stupid piece of crap. That's not a can of worms.
Right.
This is an opportunity set before you by someone bigger to at least just say, I'm sorry at the bare minimum. So I looked up and I made sure to keep the briefcase in my hand and my sunglasses were on my forehead. I didn't take anything off because, you know, that kind of body language just sets you up for something.
Everybody's already on edge, dude.
Yeah. The guy that I was talking to originally was like, oh, you know Taylor? And then this individual replies, he's like, yeah, this is the motherfucker that shot me.
He said it just like that.
Yep. Pretty matter-of-factly. Everybody laughs, thinking it was a joke. I didn't. He didn't. We continued to hold eye contact. The tension was easily cut and quite thick. Everybody's laugh kind of slowly simmered out when they realized that that was not a joke. And I looked up in those options and I almost remember myself kind of looking upright and being like, option B. And I asked him, I was like, you want to go talk? I said it nicer than that. Yeah. And he's like, yeah. So we go out to the back alley. Worst spot to ever do something like this.
Sure. With a guy that shot.
Yeah. Hey, let's go out to the sketchy ass alley.
Yeah, right.
Let's make amends. Hopefully. Yeah. So we do. That obviously didn't matter.
More than we do.
Yeah.
Give us more than we do. We make amends.
Oh no, I'm not going to it. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I was gonna say.
We go to the back alley, and the first thing I do is I just tell him I'm sorry. And I just say, I'm sorry with a period afterwards. Not I'm sorry, but not I'm sorry that this happened to you. Just like, I'm sorry. And he forgave me.
Fuck, dude.
And he said, I forgive you, May.
Straight up.
And he hugged me.
He hugged you. Oh. Have you seen him since?
No. We embraced. And I don't think he wants to be my best friend, nor do I really think he wants to see me. Which is
fair.
Totally understandable.
Yeah.
But the fact that he gave me the opportunity to just say I'm sorry, and the fact that not only did he give me that opportunity, but he also forgave me, was cool. Because I have a cool story, and I go on podcasts a lot of the time, and I don't want to think to myself like I'm benefiting from this terrible thing that I did. More so, I just want to communicate to everybody who's listening and everything that I do in my life that even in spite of making terrible choices in your life, if you live in integrity, what's supposed to happen will.
Hit.
Period. So I said, I'm sorry. We embraced, even caught up a little bit, laughed a little bit. I could tell he was still uneasy and probably still didn't like me necessarily, but the fact that he did that shows where his character's at.
Dude, that's what I was going to say.
That's huge.
That's what I was thinking too. That must have been as a big a gift to him as it was to you.
I hope.
Yeah.
I can speak for that.
Yeah.
But I can, and as a, onlooker or viewer, like I could say it must have,
One thing that I say to a lot of individuals in this part of the story is this, that I don't think I would have been able to accept his forgiveness if I hadn't first forgave myself.
I agree with you 100,000%. Because if you don't know how to do it inside of you, how can you accept it?
And that opportunity probably wouldn't have been laid at my feet if I would have been walking around with a blanket of shame and guilt.
Absolutely.
Right? Shame is bad. Guilt is good for a small period of time. Right. Guilt tells you that what I did to my conscience is bad. Shame is that I can't get over myself.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling sorry for myself. And I have a poor me, definitely not in a state of gratitude mentality. And so there was a little bit of, not a little bit, I would say there's a lot of bit of guilt, and there was a blanket of shame in which I had to learn how to either just take off and forgive myself or just get rid of in general.
So,
Yeah. Not even just ignore, just like work within.
he's shame.
Yeah. Then like, why do I feel this way? Oh, because I was acting out of what I thought was my character. Course correct. Act within your character when shit happens. Do better next time.
Right. But do you think that shame just goes away?
For the most part. It sneaks in, but you just got to be like, phew.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I struggled with that for so long. Like, that's not who I am anymore.
Yeah.
That reminder. I was like, no,
Yeah.
that's not welcome.
Got to get real good at stiff arming.
Yeah, I'm not. You're not welcome here.
Yeah.
Right. That whisper of, no, but you're a real piece of shit. Like, no.
Yeah.
And that's why I like meditation so much, because it forces you to practice that. Like, nope, I don't want that thought. No, I know. Because your mind, like, you can't control it. You never will be able to control it.
Yeah.
Your subconscious is designed to protect you. That's its purpose. Right. So it's going to believe the stories that you're telling it.
Yeah.
Right. And it's going to program that. And that's how your responses are going to be and all those things. Right. And once we learn new tools, we can reprogram that. Right. And we can start to set boundaries in our lives.
Yeah.
And that's where, things start to kind of fall in place.
Yep.
But dude,
And I leave that spot after that moment.
Yeah.
And I call two people. First one, my parole officer.
Sure.
yeah, letting her straight up, bro.
What the fuck just happened? I've been out of prison, I've been out of the halfway house, which technically I was still a DOC client, having 17 years hanging over my head because that was a remainder of my sentence when I got to community corrections.
Fuck, bro.
Got on parole, been 3 weeks.
And then you run into
I
this
call
guy.
her and I'm like, yo, just so you know,
Yeah.
this shit just happened. Real healthy.
dude.
And she's like, oh, God damn. She's like, well, you probably shouldn't go back to that facility. And I was like, okay, if that's what you want. I invited him to my class the next week. And for the sake of like not re-traumatizing or not causing even like, he might be cool, but his family might be tripping now. Like, bro, that just fucking
There's a ripple.
caused us the entire, the pebble to drop in of that ripple effect is now within, arm's distance of the person that he hurt. So we got a new coach to be able to teach there for that time being. And the second person I called was Cameron. And I called Cameron and I told him what happened. You want to know his response? Just the loudest laugh over the phone, over my Bluetooth speaker. He's like, ha, 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 ha. He's like, yeah, motherfucker, when you start doing right in life, it starts handing you opportunities and full circles start to close. Good for you. That's all he said. And he's like, we'll figure out the other stuff later, but I think you handled that well. Good job.
I agree, man. I mean, and dude, I've literally never met anyone in my life that can tell that story. Like, or anything even as impactful as that, dude. That is unbelievable.
Thank you.
Like, and just to, like, it's so weird to think that you used to be that person, We get the opportunity to see the good side of the coin, and hear the stories of the bad.
Do you guys ever meet somebody that like is inherently, I wouldn't say me, but I would say most humankind is inherently good.
Yeah.
But when they get off on that string that they put their energy and attention and their focus into, that's just that like 10% just off.
Yep.
Like I feel like a lot of people, even like some people who've done some crazy stuff were just always inherently good, but they just got on like something in their life caused like that fork in the road to go the wrong way.
Definitely. Dude, and I think that's why it's important that we sit down with people and understand the story, right? Because I think as a culture, we tend to generalize, and
Media portrayals are so awful.
and that's why I hate social media, man. It's like, instead of blasting all these people and getting behind a screen and being so hateful, like, why don't you ask a question?
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and it's like, that's just so much more impactful for both sides of that
Yeah, exactly.
engagement, you know, and
Sitting down with people too, learning what they didn't like. Okay, so here's some pieces I left out. While inside teaching 7 Habits, while I was at Sterling towards the last 4 or 5 year stint, a group of us were the first people in the country to get master facilitator trained by Franklin Covey.
oh shit.
Meaning, the warden paid $20,000 for us to get these certifications that now we can train other people to become 7 Habits facilitators. First 10 in the country. First 10 in the country. Also, CU Boulder came down, started teaching classes. I naturally gravitated towards those classes. While I was doing everything else, I engulfed myself in education and thought I could get better at any avenue because what if it helped me? My role in NAS is the Director of Communications. The class in which was offered to me, which I graduated by CU Boulder, was the Strategic Communications course.
That's amazing.
Everything, when lived with integrity, usually comes into alignment eventually. So all these things, CrossFit level 1, I ended up getting mine. I ended up getting mine at Sterling and taking a group of about 24 individuals, 18 from the east side, 4 from the west side, which I would say that I trained or taught or tutored the 18 individuals on the east side. But either way, east side and west side of the facility, 100% success rate on that test. Super hard test, by the way. So now my role that is my career choice now was fueled and placed because of the opportunity that I took on a whim, right? The individuals that now got some training in their CrossFit level 1, now 2s, are now coaching in different stage, and they're just impacting people's lives. NAS Recovery Solutions was available to me to be able to help individuals in community corrections because not only did I live that life, but I also said yes to any kind of training opportunity that came my way. A lot of people say, I'm too busy, that's gonna stress me out. I just said yes to everything. And if it really didn't make sense, then I had that hard conversation with myself. But if I had to stretch myself a little thin to sacrifice my happiness, not happiness, but maybe a little bit of my mental health at this current state to be able to bring back some healthy fruit and edify not only myself, but other people on the long run, like I feel like I'm currently doing right now, it was hella worth it.
Dude, and that's not only that, but you are so well spoken in the way that you told your story. You know, in the chronology, it's such a great story in the sense of like, you can really get into it. You know what I mean? And you're a very good storyteller.
Thank you.
But dude, just to watch like that transition, and I think the biggest thing for me that I want the listener to understand is how long it took. You know, and the thing, we live in this world of gratification. Boom, I need it now. Like if I can't have it now, if I'm not good at it right now, I'm not going to do it.
Yep.
You know, and I think a lot of that, like our kids see that, right? And I think it's just a natural state of the world, you know, and where we're at. So it's like everything that's worth something in your life requires a pathway, right? And small integral steps towards something, you know, and over time, there's eventually build this pathway, you know, that you can look back on. And I really want to highlight that because this is a space recovery that requires that, period. One small step at a time. You know, and then it just builds and builds and builds and builds. And before you know it, you look back and you've built this entire bank of equity in your life, you know, and it's just, but it takes time and it takes a lot of intention and a lot of grit, you know? And so I just want to highlight that too, because anything that I've done that's worth the shit in my life has taken a long time and a lot of hard situations and hard decisions. And so it's possible, like you say, but it is not easy.
But it's worth it.
And it is so worth it.
I have a question for you today. Do you, I just looked at you like stack like 100 W's in a row, dude. Killing it.
Yeah.
Right. In your day-to-day, your reality, your everyday life, what are with some specificity, if you don't mind, some of the hardest things that you're dealing with right now? It's a good question.
Yeah, that's a great question. Now it's like I have less dopamine hits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was all so cool, and that storm of just perfect timing created like this natural want for just continuous depth, like you said.
Christmas morning every day.
Christmas morning every day.
You're not there right now.
Yeah, no. Now it's just allowing life to kind of take its pace.
Yeah.
I am married to my best friend in the entire world.
How long have you been married?
2 years.
Nice too.
Yeah, ish. It's gonna be about 2 years here in August. And you want to hear something?
I do.
Like marrying your best friend is the coolest thing in life that you could ever do. All those depths that I just stated don't mean shit without her.
Yeah, dude.
Don't mean shit. You got to find that. Like, what is the purpose in life? Man, if we're looking at like from discipleship, right? Maybe it's to preach about Jesus Christ, right? If we're looking at it from peer coaching, maybe it's to help as many people get back on track with their life as possible. If we're looking at CrossFit, maybe it's to teach people how to become healthy in their day-to-day functional life. If we're talking about my personal like day-to-day life, I love waking up and just looking around at all the little things that I have and continuing to be grateful about the little things.
Yeah, man.
So that's the hard thing is being grateful.
Yeah. It is hard, but when you do it more often, it becomes a little less difficult by the day.
Give me some more.
Yeah. So I'm not doing all these college classes anymore. Like work is pretty much set to where now we're just kind of like riding the waves of what Medicaid and peer coaching is. Maybe even looking for new avenues to be able to communicate our story to other stages, because this one is, you know, there's chapters and everything, and change is scary, and not seeing things as fruitful as they were in the past seems like things might be dimming, and that's not necessarily the case, right? You look at it as everything that is happening is for a reason. And am I living to the best standards that I can? And if so, then just let things play out. Continue to try your best. But on top of that, like, it's also just being able to like be proud of what you've done. So on a date, like we just, like our living room, we just got some new furniture in the living room. Like I walk down and I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm my best friend. Got my dogs.
Cup of coffee.
Don't look at social media. Spend some time in the here and right now.
Yeah.
Because I love telling myself this. What if these are the good old days and I didn't take time to appreciate the fact that these are the good old days, and I'm looking back 10, 20, 30 years from now being like, damn, I should have been more present.
Because they are.
Because they are.
So I've heard gratitude.
Yep.
And I've heard patience.
Patience is a big one.
Like being patient with letting life do what life needs to do so you can arrive when the time is right.
Yep.
One more.
I would say continuing to get uncomfortable.
Yeah, bro.
Stay in that uncomfortable, a little bit of the state of uncomfortability.
Yeah, that's what's hard for you right now is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I am comfortable.
Yeah, dude.
Because I can cruise.
Because you've worked your ass off
And I could
to build a
rest on my
groove.
laurels.
Right?
Yep.
But that groove, keep going. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. I like what you're saying, because I like it when you asked me a question. I really had to think on that, because I didn't answer that to myself this morning, right? But that's a good reminder. That's staying in uncomfortability. That's why I like CrossFit. I'm pretty strong, like naturally. I did really well at powerlifting when I like competed and stuff like that. In bodybuilding, I had a naturally good physique. CrossFit's really hard.
Yeah.
And like, this is why I say this. It's not just to preach about CrossFit, but doing hard things on a daily basis allows you to stay in that state of uncomfortability, so that when change that is inevitable does happen and throws you off your rocker, up here, you're used to that ability to stay perseverant in the midst of things that aren't a perfect condition.
You're comfortable in discomfort.
Exactly.
So you said gratitude, patience, and choosing discomfort.
Yep.
To book into that
At
question.
least a little bit. You don't got to go fucking on this crazy ass journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to ask this.
Yeah.
What discomfort are you choosing?
Yeah. Good question. Continuing, CrossFit was one of them.
Specifically.
So staying in a fitness realm that is very difficult. Like my workout the other day was like $60 step over to run a mile for time. And I felt like there was a pussy after that, because that was a hard workout. It's like, I was like, oh my goodness, right? But that also is a skill that's transferable to continuing to stay educated. I feel like people are like, I've gone to college before. I don't need to read any more books.
Yeah, dude.
Like, what?
Yeah.
The realm and landscape of what is today is always and ever changing.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's staying in the Word, right? Because your life looks different, your mind, your spirit looks different than it was just even yesterday. Whether it's continuing to have uncomfortable conversations with your loved ones, because you can fall in grooves, like little things like paper cuts. You can die by a death of 1,000 paper cuts if not carefully watching what you say to your spouse or friends, or maybe watching just your tone in everyday to-day conversations with people that you work with. So when I say uncomfortable, I don't just mean like taking this 1,000-mile journey with
Physically
no shoes.
comfort.
Right. Yeah, physical discomfort. I mean, like, pay attention to the little conversations that you're having with people on a day-to-day basis. Check your intent with everything that you're doing. Continue to keep on growing and learning, continuing to pursue endeavors that may seem like a risk, but if the integrity and the morals and the ethics all look right, why not swing?
Dude, that's actually, I really appreciate you saying just specifically that, because I was really struggling with this the other day and asking God, like, when do I swing?
Yeah.
You know, like,
Hard question. Dude.
Yeah,
like,
it's a hard,
you know, and it's like, when, like, how do I know that I'm in alignment here? And really, I think I have an answer to it, you know, and I don't know. I call it being like plugged in while I'm awake, you know.
Check this out, right? I want you to picture this. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But check this metaphor out. Imagine a batter. We're talking about swinging, playing baseball. It's professional, major leagues. Everybody's watching. And the pitcher throws 3 questionable strikes, and the individual didn't swing at any of them. And he gets struck out based on things that he never swung at, right? Imagine him swinging and missing. It looks a little better. Imagine him swinging and just getting a foul ball. That's another free chance. So my point is, when do you swing? Probably when you feel like you shouldn't.
Yeah, like almost all the
The
time.
longest walk is from home plate back to the dugout, having watched every single one.
And I think that my fear in that is like,
I would rather have swung and missed.
dude, and that's the thing is like, I think I get this fear of like being out of alignment and swinging when I'm out of alignment, you know, and then completely just missing the mark, you know.
Fear's always going to be there.
Yeah.
But I'm more fearful of looking back at a time in which I regret not swinging
Yeah.
than being fearful of missing.
And I think I finally got to that place in my life, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, you know, where I'm just like, you know what, fuck this. I don't care anymore.
Yep.
The hard part for me was, I'm sorry, keep going.
No, you're good. I'm done.
No, the hard part, I'm just taking hacks. I do, like, but I've always been that way.
Yeah.
I don't care. If there's an opportunity, I'm fucking going for it.
Yeah, good.
But for the longest time, I would just swing and just take hacks to worst opportunities, and I'd come out the other side like, I should. What the fuck was I doing? Well, that was so. What was I doing over there? I shouldn't have been playing that field.
Yeah.
And nowadays, I'm looking at like, dude, fucking keep them coming.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want every. And the hard part for me is when I tell somebody about an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I open my mouth.
You give energy.
I'm like, fuck, dude. And then I have to go back to that person and say, yeah, it wouldn't play. And that was the hardest conversation. A, I'm learning to shut the hell up.
Mm-hmm.
And B, it doesn't fucking matter what they think about what I did.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't my
big
fucking
thing.
business.
Yep.
What's going on something.
You cannot control the you in other people's heads.
It does.
And we spend so much energy trying to.
Clip that.
You wouldn't care what other people thought about you if you realized how often they didn't.
Yeah, oh my goodness. There's another. Clip that shit too.
You know what I mean, those are all paraphrasing somebody else's statements. But
Yeah, whatever.
the reality is like, just fucking hack away. Go for every little opportunity. Because you don't know when you look back. Like, that field that I was playing in, I met a guy. And the field that I'm in now, he's also in.
Yeah.
And we shake hands, and he's opening the door for me. Like, hey, dude, by the way, I know it didn't work out, but we got you here.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's go here. Let's take the invitation. I'm big on that. Take the fucking invitation.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. I don't want to go. Take it.
Yeah. Do you remember that thing you were stressing over last week?
No.
Do you remember that thing you were stressing over last week?
no, dude.
Everybody fucking listening? Do you guys remember that thing you were stressing over 2 weeks ago? Probably not.
And to try to remember it would be wasted with time.
And if it was, then yeah, that was probably worth stressing over.
Right, absolutely.
The likelihood is,
There's
right,
less-
that the 80%, like that 80-20, I think it's like the Prieto principle, states that like 80% of the things that you're stressing about probably are not going to play out or be even worth the dang energy.
Yep.
That's what a lot of infidelities actually happen about, in my opinion, is the 20%. You see 20% that your wife doesn't have, and people fuck everything like they're 80% up over 20%. That happens in careers too. That happens in lifestyle.
Everything.
That happens with friends. That happens with a whole lot of stuff. But that's what gratitude is meant to do, is focus on that 80.
Yeah, dude. And that's true. You can put that anywhere in life. I mean, you know, 20% of people make 80% of the money.
Yeah, 20%. Yeah, well, right. Yeah, we'll
Probably more like one. Yeah. Probably more like two to 90.
yeah.
That's also another episode.
Yeah, I'm down though.
Oh, dude, you want to go down there? Well, I got a song for you guys to listen to.
All right.
But, well, dude, let me ask you this. Before we move into the last little segment of our episode here, is there anything else that you want to add? Anything that's kind of burning in your heart?
This is what I want to say to everybody that I mentioned and to a lot of those that I didn't. Thanks for being a part of my story, because my story is mine, but it's also not just mine.
Yep.
Ours.
Awesome, dude.
I love that, dude.
Thank you.
So at the end of every episode, we have somebody write a question down.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have you read the question and answer it.
Cool.
And then when we get off air, we'll have you write a question for our next guest.
Sweet.
And then eventually we want to publish this.
Yeah.
Put it out. So, thank you. Okay. So hopefully you can. Yeah. So it's the last question. I don't know.
Last question.
Is it Rocky that wrote that?
I think so. That was Rocky. Yeah.
Okay.
Rocky's a good dude. You know Rocky Romano?
No, I don't. Maybe.
I don't
should.
either. I want to either.
Look. Anyways, keep going.
Okay, cool. So the question, the last one?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want God to use you for?
Oof.
Damn.
Yeah.
That was a Rocky.
Good question. Yeah. Good luck.
The simple answer, and I don't want to like cheat because that's a cheat code. It's just like what he intended me for.
Yeah.
But like, what is that? And I would say the whole theme of like our episode today that we've been talking about was there's a few words: harmony, alignment, and integrity. And I would say, make sure that whatever you do, they're doing it for and through the true you.
Yeah.
And so the question is, what do you want God to use you for? And I would say to continue to bring Taylor to whoever may need Taylor.
That's awesome, dude. And I love that mindset too, because it's just open. You know, you're like, I'm here, I'm available. Like, I'm
a planner, but boy, I don't plan 2 weeks out, only one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because the opportunities may fall in my lap where things changed, and I'm kind of like, there's a negative connotation attached to this word, like an opportunist. But in life, like, if like there's a free day where we can go swimming, that's what I did yesterday with my wife. She was like, you want to go to the pool? I was like, shit, I got like 4 meetings.
Yeah.
She's like, you don't have them in between these 2 fingers right here. And I was like, bet, let's go swimming. I love that.
But as a married man, you know that's like probably the best investment you made all week.
Yep, it is.
Your first answer was whatever I'm intended for, and you said it because it could feel like a cop out.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude.
But when you're stepping inside of your intention, what does that look like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the beauty in all of it, is because you're filling your own cup up, right? Mm-hmm. You're serving I know this sounds really bad, but you are serving yourself so that you can go out and serve others.
What did you title our last episode? The private victory must come before the public victory.
Yes, dude.
Therefore, selfish is a word that I feel like has probably been misconstrued to be very bad. But you kind of need to be selfish before you can be selfless, because it's the same principle as being a manager versus being a leader. The manager tells you what to do. A leader will do it with you. So I need to understand what my intentions are and be a little selfish and dig into here, dig into here, and maybe even here, to be able to fully be present for anybody else.
Because you're useless without it.
Yep.
You really are. You're trying to show up as somebody else.
Yep.
Nobody needs you.
Yep.
So I love that answer, because I think that is the most difficult way to live your life.
Yeah.
You know, and in congruence with that stuff. And it's so hard, man.
But rewarding.
Yeah.
Rewarding.
But, well, dude, there are no words, man. I am so grateful to have you in here telling the story. And I just want to thank you for your vulnerability, your honesty, you know, and just where you're willing to go and share in your life, dude. Like, the things that you've been through are insane, you know, and the where you are right now is just, it's crazy, you know. And I know that I can probably say this for you, but if you guys are in a place where you need to reach out, NAS Recovery Solutions, Taylor has an amazing thing going on. And I know that if you guys need a hand, he's there, we're here, reach out. You know, that's what this is all about. We're trying to build that community so that we don't continue to fall back into these bad habits, man. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, dude.
Thank you guys both for allowing me to come on here, because who the heck am I, right? Dude. Just somebody with another story who's had some things happen to them that maybe could use it for better.
Yeah.
That's really well, dude. Yep. And yeah, seriously, this is a gift, man. It really was. So, well, with that, we are going to wrap up episode 71, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for watching.
Later, guys.